Hey, gonna paint this dryer top. It's got a little rust going on there, and it's gonna work on it. Figure out, I'll make a video out of this, how I do this. So in this case, I'm gonna try a little bit different method, but I want to separate this top, and I recommend first thing you do is take out these screws. And you do not want to drop these screws down here. And doing this left hand, so it's kind of tricky for me. So all I'm doing is loosen them up, and when you put these screws back in, you just want to snug them very lightly, because they strip out really easy, because this is a sheet metal, very thin sheet metal that these go into. And so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to put my hand here and just take those out. Maybe I'll do it. Catch myself on camera dropping them in there. And the reason why you want to do this first is because if you don't, you'll forget. And over there. And then you'll be yanking on this. So next, come around here, and you got a couple options. I like this particular design because you got to fit all the cords through here. And the older ones, what they did is all these wires were scattered all over the place, and you'd have to disconnect it and try to reconnect them. But this is pretty straightforward. You just disconnect these. This is the timer one, and I probably won't be able to do that with one hand. And then you just pop these off. Only one you have to unbolt is this ground. Just put the screw right back there if you really care. It doesn't really matter where it goes on there, but might as well put it back in the same place. And then this is your start button. And again, these don't matter which way they go because it's just a switch. And I already loosened them. You just pop those off. And oh, and I guess there is one more ground here. So let me I'm just gonna disconnect these. It's not rocket science. This is a 1/4 inch, that's a 1/4 inch, and I'll be right back after I get all these wires disconnected. I went to take this off, and I realized I want to get this off before so I can reach that easier. So I wasn't going to show this till later, but might as well show it now. So there's a little Phillips screwdrivers in the corners here, and these will be in different places on different models. But you just want to loosen that. Again, I'll take off. There's going to be one there and one here, and it looks like they're designed to unscrew but stay in place so you don't lose them, which is kind of nice. So all I'm going to do is back these screws off, and I'll let this come off. You can kind of see in here, but not very good. These are L-shaped and they hook to the front. I'll show you when I get it off. But so, I'm sorry, they hook to the back. So when I get these screws out, I'll slide it forward, and then we'll be able to lift this top out, and you'll see it'll make more sense when I get it off. Okay, here's all these. See, I took the screw off. I just left it in there so I wouldn't have to look for it later. And then these are those little elbows I was talking about. You go to the back. These break real easy. That's why you never want to grab this top part when you're moving the dry around. People do that all the time, and they break off a piece of plastic, which these are getting harder and harder to get. And those are probably, I would guess, $25 a piece if you buy them new. They might even be more. Also, things to look at is like, they probably did this at the factory. They probably were supposed to put a screw in there and they forgot, but check the other side the same way. I don't know why they saved a whole penny by not putting those screws in. But anyways, now I can take this off and finish detaching these wires. Alright, now I got this off. This one actually came off really easy. One nice thing is this has only got 3 wires in it. This one's got 4, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. This I used a pick to get off. Where's it at? It's just got a little clip that sticks up here. You just slide the clip under here to get it to clear that, and then you comes right off. And now, now this is no longer attached. So now all I'm going to do is just clean this up, and we'll kind of take it from there. So all I did now is I just took a degreaser. I like LA Awesome Clean. It used to be inexpensive when they had a Dollar Tree and it was under $1. Now they've gone up in price, so I try to buy the bigger batches, and I cut it about 50-50 and just spray it on, and then wipe it off with a clean, like a terry cloth towels. And one thing that's neat is the backs will almost always be clean, almost like brand new, so you really don't have to worry about that. Take take it off so when you clean it you won't have a line there. And so you really don't have to clean from here on back, which is nice. I used to use spray cans, but they're, and I still do, but the problem is the price of them is going up so expensive. And then and they have some downsides. The quality of the paint has gone downhill. They plug a lot and they'll splatter and make a mess. So you have to really shake them up, spend all your time shaking up the cans where they used to work really well before. So these areas really almost need to be done with spray cans. Although you maybe could brush it in, it's hard to. I'll probably still spray this if I can find a good spray can. Again, they tend to sputter, and once it sputters, then it kind of wrecks the job. When you're getting ready to paint, if you run your hand over it, any place that you can feel stuff is going to show up on the top coat, because paint is actually pretty thin. And so if you feel something that really needs to be sanded, sometimes some scratches you won't feel, and if you won't feel it, you just need to get the rust out of it, and that'll be fine. But any place that you can feel, you'll need to brush it up with some fine grit sandpaper. So I'll show you how I'll get this rust off in a bit here. Okay, so getting ready to clean the top of this here. What you want to get yourself is something called Barkeeper's Friend. That bottle's just got water in it, and I use the green Brillo pad. You can buy these in bulk on Amazon. I think that's where I got it. I'll find links to all this stuff, except for that's just a reused water. It used to have whatever it says in there, some kind of window cleaner. Anyways, what I do is I'll spray the water all over them. I don't have very much left, but put the Barkeeper's just like a white powder. You put that on there, and then I'll kind of scrub it out with this, and you'll see it'll get all the rust off, and it also helps smooth a little bit, act like a little sandpaper, because it is abrasive a little bit, not very abrasive though. It works really good stuff. Okay, give you a quick look. This is after I cleaned it and wiped it off, and use little clean rags with some water on there. That Bartender's Keeper, it's got a little bit of bleach into it, I think, so it helps get the staining of that rust off. And you really should do this when you're ready to paint, because ideally next you would want to go over it with like a denatured alcohol, or at least mineral spirits or something like that, to clean off any residue on there before you paint. That'll help the paint stick better. Unfortunately, when it's really cold, it's hard to work with paint, because paint needs what they call flash off. It doesn't evaporate. It evaporates really slow when it's cold. So I gotta decide what I want to do, because all this is clean, but it's just gonna rust back up. So I might hit it with a spray can and see how that looks. Another little trick you can do is that hole there, so you don't get paint down in there, is you can lift this up and just put like a paper bag or something right there and close it back down, and then you don't have to worry about taping it off and stuff. I'll show you that. And again, I'm not going to paint the back because it's brand new looking, and I'll paint just past where the edge of the top piece goes, and call that good. Anyway, so just press on and show you as I go along. Luckily I found some denatured alcohol. You just spread it on there, get a nice clean cloth, wipe it all down, and it works really good. It evaporates off even when it's cold, and it doesn't leave a residue behind, so I highly recommend that. And I put my paper bag in there. I think what I'm going to do is, despite not wanting to do it, I'm going to hit it with a spray can, just so, not to finish the job. We'll see how it comes out. It'll probably come out good, but just to keep it from re-rusting, and then I'll deal with it later. Probably what I have to do is let it dry, sand down if it spatters, and then I'm planning on going over it with a roller, but sometimes the spray can, if it doesn't give me a hard time, will come out good, and I won't have to do that. Okay, hit it with the spray can. Let's see this corner here. So this is, the spray cans do good work, but that's a short shadow in the corner. If it's showing up on camera, it makes it look like it's still there, but it's not. The other side you can see real good because the light's hitting it good. See, corners look good, and those are hard to do. And the top here, it looks all good. There's You can get a little fisheye in this. Fisheye is usually because there's a little contaminants left on it, but I can see a speck. And then also when you're painting outdoors, stuff will fall into it, just particulates in the air and stuff. That all shows up. You could probably, like I said, it's always frustrating because it did come out pretty good. And it is a used dryer, so the really frustrating part about it is the quality of the paint. They're using just regular paint when they're making these now. They don't use that nice hard enamel that lasts forever. They're just using spray paint basically because it scratches really easy. Anyhow, so it's going to take a long time to dry, and I'll let it dry off and probably take a look at it tomorrow and see how bad it looks. Unfortunately, when it's like this, ideally when you want to paint, you want to get it on the first try, because then you go to try to correct it and sometimes you cause more damage. You end up doing the whole thing again anyways. We'll see. I can see a little bubbling, but because it's so cold, it might be flashing off funny. Anyhow, we'll see how it looks probably tomorrow.